And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Wednesdays here on the program, we like to welcome a volunteer from the farm women's group Common Ground to the studio.
Common Ground is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. Joining us now is Leslie Boswell from the Shickley area. Nice to see you today, Leslie.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
How's everything going down there?
We got a little bit of moisture, which was more than we've had all year so far. It was about an inch, so we're happy.
That's good.
But farmers are starting to get nervous because it's time to get in the field, and they're starting to get ready to thinking about their planting, getting their prep work done, spraying for weeds. It's just a crazy time of year.
I know my grandpa would drive around and see who's in the field and then get anxious.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then you've got the ornery ones that'll fill the planter and set it at the end of the field just to get everybody else riled up.
There's always stuff like that going on, isn't
Yes, there he is.
Well, we want to talk today about what maybe farmers and gardeners have in common.
This time of year, before you plant your crop, it's a real good time to get your weeds under control because you don't want the weeds to compete with what you're planting. So what the farmers are doing now is they're going out and spraying their fields and trying to get everything that is already there under control before they go in and plant, because that will reduce the competition later and hopefully eliminate at least one more spraying. Gardeners can do the same thing. If you look out in your garden right now, or if you look out across fields, they look like real dark purple. That's henbit. It grows everywhere. My mom says someday that's going to be our state flower. But it overwinters, and then it'll start to grow again in the spring. Same way with dandelions and pennygrass. Those are the main ones that we're trying to control right now, along with some of the real cool season grasses that are starting to come up. But those would be the main ones. You want to get them controlled by spraying them now. Tillage doesn't always work unless you're in your garden hoeing it and you can keep at it. Get them under control, then they don't take the nutrients out of the soil, they don't take the water, they don't shade the plants. It just works better for getting a good crop established.
And doing the weed control, that's something that all farmers are doing, right? I mean, if you're running a pretty large operation, a lot of acreage, you know, you've got to do this to make things work.
You absolutely do. And where so many of the farmers have gone to much less tillage than they used to do, spraying is the only way that we can really do that. You can go in and you can disc and you can cultivate and you can do all kinds of different things that are mechanical controls. But we're trying to reduce that. We don't want to disturb the soil any more than we have to. We want to try to get the plants to die down. That actually adds organic matter back to the ground, which is something that we do want. That's why they're using cover crops. This particular crop we just don't want. But even on cover crops, you're going in this time of year and you're killing them down so that when you go in and you plant your crop, you've got that organic matter, but you don't have the competition.
And then, you know, as far as working with chemicals, gardeners have to think about this too. Some safety considerations.
Absolutely. Some of them are more so than others. A lot of the really restricted use pesticides, they don't use this time of year. More of them are fairly safe, but you don't want to dig your hands in it and try to mix it around. You don't want to be spraying it on yourself. They use what they call personal protective equipment, PPE, which is like a raincoat. You can wear pants, the rain or water repellent pants. You can wear booties. You've got gloves. You've got goggles. There's all kinds of things that you can do for varying degrees depending on what you're doing and how much protection you actually need. If it's a windy day and you're going to be out working on nozzles on your sprayer, then you probably want to be pretty well protected.
Right.
Yeah, and it's costly too this time of the year with the spray. I know that's kind of a big input cost for farmers too.
The chemicals are a big cost, but with some of the different crops that we've gone to, with the different varieties that are like Roundup resistant, or there's so many of the GMOs that we are growing now, it has seriously reduced our use of chemicals. So that has made it much better, much more cost effective, and much safer for the farmers.
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
Leslie, and you're sticking around?
Yes, I am.
We always love that.
We got a little Easter treat.
I see it over there. It's cute.
Yeah.